Good morning, guys. E206, Season 4, Episode 206. It is Thursday morning, 6 a.m., and just heading out for the day. I do have a meeting tonight at 6:30 p.m., so I've got about 12 hours to do what I want, and of course have meetings at work as well, so we just have to navigate around all that kind of stuff. Woke up this morning, I already had people from around the world asking me to take care of stuff for them, that's a pain, but that's what keeps us in business, so it's okay. I have a meeting at 8:45, another one at 10:30, and another one at 1 p.m. I'm not sure about what this last one is, this 1 p.m. collaborative something. The 10:30 and the 8:45 are not a big deal. I'll have to see what this one is here. I don't like that one too much. Gonna have a director, a manager, and another manager, and a contractor in it. So, we'll see what that's all about. Yeah, today looks like it's gonna be another cooler day. 60 degrees outside, 64 right now, and the high today is only gonna be 76. So that's good for us. And good for utility bills, I guess. My electric bills have been $550, almost $600 lately with the summer heat. So I'm looking forward to fall weather coming and a little bit better utility costs. So, but like I said, today's going to be a cooler day. Right now it's cloudy. I don't think it's going to rain, but as long as traffic's not bad, temperature's not too hot, we don't need anything else. Good variance, I guess. I was trying to figure out where to go today, and I kind of changed it a few times, and then I realized that if I want to go the direction I was thinking about going, having to be back that early might be a little bit of a problem, because the table I want to play doesn't open till 1 p.m. and I would have to leave the area by 2 p.m. and that gives me no time at all, and if there's any kind of traffic or accidents or construction, I wouldn't make it in time. So and that's without stopping anywhere on the way back. So instead I decided to go a different direction today, and we're going to be hitting 2 casinos today, potentially 3, and we're going to be playing Blackjack primarily. Slots have dropped off like crazy since I was ejected from those couple casinos. One of them I would hit 4 times a week, because I would hit them on the way out and on the way back. One of them I'd hit once or twice a week. So that took a lot of slot play out of my game. But Blackjack's been going all right, and I realize there can be big variance in it, and I've been getting big variance, but luckily I've been coming out ahead in most of my sessions, and I'm good. So still planning to go out of town next week, just finalizing plans on that, and I'll let you know what happens with that. The next step with that is going to be figuring out if I'm going to drive or fly. I prefer to drive because I can get a lot more sessions in on the way there, but it's less time at the destination, so kind of balances out. I do like having different casinos to go to and explore and all that kind of stuff, and they see my face less, but we'll see. So I'll let you know what happens with that. That's really about it. That's all that's on my mind right now. We're about to get on the highway here, and I'll be back to update you. Okay, that was a little awkward. Just walked up on a guy playing he's an AP, walked up on him playing the most ridiculous bad play. Oh, it's so bad. I didn't want to embarrass the guy, just walked away. Anyway, I just played a session of Blackjack on a low limit table. That's what was available. $15 table, going from 15. I only got to about, hardly got any kind of high counts. So I was only up to like 100 was the highest I got to. But played that for about 50 minutes and just was not going anywhere. Started off by losing and continuing to lose, but interestingly, a guy came and sat down next to me to my left who I had played with last time I was here, and this guy claims that day he lost $250,000. He claims he won $250,000, then he lost $250,000. I think he could have lost $250,000, but he was talking to one of the pit bosses about how he got screwed and this and that, and then he kind of implied that he had $250,000 credit lines elsewhere, which means that he had one here. So maybe he had one here and he lost it, and he only had about $500. I remember playing with him before. He'd play like $300, $400, $500 a hand, but he claimed that he plays the side bets pretty heavily, and he was playing 2 side bets at 25 each when I played with him, but he only had like $500. And then we ended a shoe, and he ended up walking away. He's like, hold the shoe for me, I'll be right back. And we're like, okay, fine. So we wait for him to come back. He had gone to the ATM and gotten $400 more. Now, if you have that kind of money, are you only getting $400? Do you have credit lines somewhere? If you have credit lines at other casinos and you're playing that big, wouldn't you try to win your money back by going to one of them instead of coming back here where you have no money? That's just my thought. You know, it doesn't make any sense. But the dealer said that he's full of shit, but he could be, he could not be. I don't know. I mean, he looks like an ordinary guy, but you never know. You could never tell by looking. So, anyway. So, just a second. What's going on with this here? See, one thing you got to look at a lot of times is you'll see machines that have a cash out button lit, and you're like, well, there's no money in there. But there is, because see, these are $5 machines, and there's like $1.50, $1.20 in them, and it'll show 0 credits. There you go. The old machine here, called a triple strike. Anyway, people leave money all the time, man. Anyway, I ended up playing for about 50 minutes, like I said, and ended my session ahead, only $25. But I had to get up because there was nowhere left for me to play. So at this point, I'm going to look around at some other things, and then we'll probably move on to another spot. So that's what's going on right now. I'm just looking through the rest of the slots, looking at one more area that there could be a blackjack table, and then we'll move on to another place, and I'll be back to update you. Alright guys, I am back. And what the heck? Coffee maker's beeping? Be careful, it's gonna explode. Alright, so man, it's been a crazy day. Haven't really had a chance to make much money. Doing my best here. Ended up playing a little bit of 1-3 no limit, and I was at that table for just a short time while I was waiting for some blackjack to open up, and just couldn't get anything going there. I'll go over a couple hands later on. I probably shouldn't be talking in the casino, but probably loud, but ended up playing that for about an hour or so, and ended my session down 190. And like I said, I'll go over some hands later on, and then went and looked for some blackjack. Couldn't find anything. So right now we're gonna leave, and we're gonna move on to another spot, but not doing too hot right now. And I got another meeting starting, and got to get to the car for that. But I'll go over some of the stuff that happened, and then I forgot I have a slot voucher also. Let me check these couple slots on the way out. I'll come back and update you here in a minute. Alright guys, sorry about that. I know that was noisy in there, but we'll go over what happened in there. So I had one blackjack session, and I may have, low fuel already. I may have mentioned it already, but I spread from 15 to 100. That's as far as I could get. Counts weren't very good the whole time. Very slow table. Was there for about an hour. It got busy. It got slow. Counts were low. It was just a very exhausting place to be. I didn't have to worry about anybody watching me or looking at what I was doing because there was nothing going on. There was no opportunity, and people came to. Okay, so this guy comes to the table and he claims that he was up $250,000 and then ended the day down $250,000. So he lost $500,000 from the top, right? But he's playing on a $15 table, and his minimum bet was $25, and the maximum that I saw him bet was like maybe 100, 125, not much more than that. So I'm like, this seems a little bit suspicious to me that you were, and he claims he has all these credit lines and everything. It doesn't make sense. You're going to try to win back your $250,000 or your $500,000 by playing $25 hands. And he was playing 2 side bets, putting $25 on each side bet. So he's wasting tons of money. He holds up the table to go get some money. I think he came back with 400, if I remember right, something like that. It's like, if you have all this money, why are you trying to grind like this? And he's like, yeah, I got $250,000 credit lines everywhere. Okay, well, why are you here then? Go over there, win 100, 200,000, then come over here and pay your marker. Why would you stay here betting nothing when you have credit lines everywhere? And he's like, I'm about to head to Florida. I'm like, okay, go head to Florida, do whatever you want. But he's like, or I'm thinking about heading to Florida or something like that. So, yeah, that was a very exhausting experience. And then I played a few slots and only ended up ahead $14 on those. And then I played 1-3 no limit. Extremely slow table, very slow table. Only played for an hour or less. Highlights were basically the first couple hands that I played, and I was up like 150. I ended my session down 190, but I'll give you an example of one of the hands that happened. I had a pair of 2s, and I call its heads up. The flop is 2 queen 9. So I've got a set and with a queen 9, and the turn is a 9. Okay, so now I have a full house, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. I make it 50. He calls me the river, another 9. So now I've got 9s full of 2s, and any queen beats me, and the guy called $50. So I'm like, oh, I'm pretty much dead here. And so I just checked and he checked and I won the hand, but that was really bad because that my hand was no good pretty much against any pair or any queen. And then I had another hand where I had ace king, and he made it 15 pre-flop, I made it 50, and the flop is 10 jack 4, so I got a gut shot. And then the turn is an 8. I bet the flop, I bet the turn, nothing. The river is a 3, I give up, and he has pocket queens, so he beat my ace king. Those were really the most exciting hands of my session there. So overall for that session, I ended blackjack plus 25, slots plus 14, and 1-3 no limit down $190. So right now, running a little bit low on time. We're going to move on to another place. Hopefully, get some blackjack in, and end this day positive at least. So, unfortunately, just driving out to places takes so long now because I have no stops along the way. It's pretty exhausting, and then when you don't win there and you have to drive many hours to another place, it's not very good. So, anyway. We're moving on to another place, and I'll be back to update you soon. Alright guys, I am back. So, moved on and went to another spot. and just looking at slots and finding very little, looking at blackjack, finding very little, and finally I ended up finding a table to play, $25 minimum table, spreading from 25 to 250, and never really got to my top bet. So I was really like more like 25 to 100. So just about 30 minutes on that table, nothing really happening at all. Ended up losing 300 on that table, and the table was so crowded, but another table opened up around the other side of the pit. So I went to that one and bought in for 300 there and played there for a while by myself. I was able to get a little bit of time in before someone came to that table, and then someone else came to that table, and I ended up leaving. Between the two tables, I ended up ahead $225. So it's something. Plus 225. I did play some slots, actually a slot, and ended that ahead $133, and had a little bit of trouble cashing out because the machine wasn't working, and had to go another machine. It was just awful. But I also found one slot earlier I wanted to discuss. It was interesting because I was walking through this casino looking for plays, and I wasn't finding anything. So then I see this guy checking machines. I'm like, okay, I don't know this guy, but let's see what he's doing here, what he's working on. And so I see him checking some stuff here that is, just the way he's checking it, you can tell he's frustrated. You can tell that he doesn't make a lot of money. He's not getting into depth on anything. He's just really mad and looking for like easy plays. So I see him pounding these machines, looking for plays. And so I bypass him and get ahead of him, and I find a nice play at like $7.50 a spin. And he comes around the corner. As soon as he sees me, you see the look of disgust on his face that I got to play and not him. This was the first stop that I made. And I ended up playing it through and ended up losing like $150 on there, which is just awful. And then I get up and I turn around, and there's another play behind me. It's a one spin play, but he was so focused on my machine and still didn't realize that I knew what I was doing. So he sits down at my machine and puts money in that one. I don't know what he was thinking about doing with it, but there was no play left on there. But the machine behind me had a play, and that one should have paid about $75. Ended up paying $5 for one spin. So just some of the crazy ups and downs today. Never really got any real traction going, but yeah. So right now we are going to grab something to eat, and then we have a meeting. We'll take care of both those things. The meeting is an hour long. If the meeting's not too long, if it ends up finishing up early, we may be able to get a little bit more blackjack time in. So we're hoping for that. So we'll see what happens with that. So right now, that session plus 225 on the blackjack, plus 133 on the slots, which puts us like plus 200 or something ridiculously low for the day after like 5 hours of driving. But what are you gonna do? Gonna do this meeting, and I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, I am back, and I am in bumper to bumper traffic on this highway. Just got some food. I got some beef shawarma. You know what that is? Where they put it on the skewer that turns. And oh man, that was so good. He's like, how much do you want? You want one? I said, one what? One sandwich? I said, no, I'm not eating bread. I said, just put some in a plate. And he's like, how much do you want? I said, I don't know, half a pound or so. They gave me half a pound, and he gave me all kinds of tomatoes and pickles and all kinds of other stuff. And that only cost me $5. So that's not bad at all. And then I started my meeting while I was sitting in this parking lot, and the meeting was supposed to be an hour long and ended up only going 8 minutes. So I'm like, okay, this is great. And now I'm trying to leave this area and head to another casino, and I'm getting delayed left and right. So we'll see what happens here. I'm gonna head toward this casino and then put in home into my map and see how much time I have, and then we'll figure out what we're playing from there. I should have at least an hour to play one more game, so we'll see what happens with that. So that's what's going on right now. We got a little bit of new life here, potentially chance to make some more money today, and I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, I am back. I was able to get through that traffic pretty quickly within just a few minutes after stopping the recording, and got to our next casino, walked in, looked at a few slots, nothing here, and found a table. Finally picked a good table. Finally picked a table, and I cut the shoe, but finally got some good variance, and did pretty well on that one, and in and out pretty quickly, and ended the session ahead $800. So that was a nice little surprise. Not a lot of bad variance. My first hand was like a 19, and the dealer got like a 5-card 20, and I'm like, oh, here we go. Started raising my bet, but things ended up turning out fine. So and then I was standing in line to get my money, and there's a security guard standing right there, and I'm wondering what's going on there. He didn't seem very happy. I did engage him a little bit. I'm like, hey, you all right? He's like, yeah, why? Oh, you don't seem very happy. I'm like, well, you are at work though, so maybe that's why. And he laughed a little bit. And it seems to me like they were looking for someone or waiting for someone, because then after I left that area and I was moving on through the casino looking around, I saw some other security officers kind of paying attention, looking for somebody. And then when I got back to the front where I came in, when I first came in, there was a guy who walked on the other side of security. So there's an in and an out, obviously. Well, there's a little strap between it. You're supposed to walk on one side or the other. Well, he walked by them, and obviously he wasn't going to give them ID. And they asked him for ID, and he said, oh, I'll go to the car and get it. And then I came in, and I did my blackjack thing, and I was leaving. When I came in, there was another guy who was just standing there. He's got a long beard, white beard, gray-haired beard. And when I left, there was, looks like maybe security manager or something talking to him, explaining that it's not up to him. They can't let him in without ID. So there's 2 older people right there that they didn't let in. I don't know if they were trying to pull something. The first one seemed like he could have been trying to pull something, because why'd you go in the other side? But this one kind of seemed like he was pretty genuine. And then as I was getting in an elevator, there was 4 or 5 old ladies standing there, and they're trying to figure out where their licenses are in their purses, which is kind of sad in my opinion, that they put them through all that. But we got to get that card counter with that $50 an hour EV, and we'll slow down thousands of customers a day whose EV for the casino is way more than $50 an hour. It's maybe $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 an hour for the people that you're slowing down, and you're costing yourself way more money than you'd be saving by not paying the card counter. I guess the card counter is kind of like the mobster, I guess, right? Comes in, takes your money, whether you want it or not. But without that, then you've got problems. So here we go. Now they've got problems. They're stopping people at the door, costing themselves more money than just paying us off. But plus 800 at that place, and we're going to move on, and I'll be back to update you soon. All right, guys, I am back, and still continuing my trip here. We can do our segments. I do have my meeting tonight, so we'll see what happens with that. It's not going to be as exciting as yesterday's meeting, but we'll see what happens with that. What did you eat today, MW? Today I had that shawarma beef, and it was good. It was good, and it had some lettuce, tomatoes, a couple different kinds of pickles and stuff with it. It was pretty good. I would have liked probably to have more and some bigger pieces, but it was all right. So, and then what did you tip today, MW? And today I had 3 sessions of blackjack. One of them I struggled for a long time, and ended up ahead, I believe, $25. On that one, I tipped $0. The second one, I struggled also and eked out a small $225 win and tipped $0 on that one. And the third one was an $800 win, and I tipped $0 on that one. Now, I did also play poker, and I think I only won 2 hands in that short time that I played. So I tipped $1 a hand. That would be $2 in tips. And what did you learn today, MW? Oh, Lord, what did I learn today? Let me think about this for a second here. My timing is still off, and I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do long term. But I do know that although my timing is getting better, it's still pretty far off, and I need to do a better job. So that's what I learned. Right now it is raining as I am heading toward home and toward my meeting. I'm gonna relax after that at home, and you might have noticed we did not do a double deck today like the plan was, and I may try to do one tomorrow, but I'm not sure if I'll have time because it's a lot further away than the regular games that I play. So we'll see. But right now we're heading home in the rain, 71 degrees outside, and we'll catch up more tomorrow. If you have any questions or comments, my email is mwusa21@gmail.com, mwusa21@gmail.com. See you next time.